Hey, Fuel Rules here, and welcome back to Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, and we are about to do the next trial to figure out who it was who killed Chihiro. Yeah, it's so sad that she died. We have no choice, right? We have to do this. You say that a lot.
It's true.
Yes. I gave a small nod in reply. With one last deep breath, I walked towards the elevator on shaky legs. With each step forward, I could feel my heart starting to race faster and faster. As soon as everyone was on, the elevator began to descend. I couldn't get a handle on my emotions, couldn't stop speculating. The steel box sank with heavy clunking sounds deeper and deeper into the ground. And as we went deeper, the uneasiness in my heart grew bigger and bigger. The elevator was unaffected, however, and continued to descend without hesitation. I do wonder, though, they were saying that, it seems like Hope's Peak Academy was taken over and renovated. That's true. What was originally down here, where the trial room is? I wonder. Huh. Until finally, it came to a sudden stop. What do you think? I redecorated. Isn't it so fresh? Isn't it so exciting? Don't waste our time with stupid questions. Let's get this over with.
Very
Good,
nice.
good. You're ready to go. Gotta say, I don't hate it. None at all.
Well,
Okay then, let's get this show on the road.
thrills,
Everyone,
chills,
please find your
kills.
assigned seats. And so the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial. Like I said, they're going to do that every single time. Yes, I want to save, and I'll save in this slot. And yeah, like I said, you can... Ooh, actually, I want to see what the skills are. Increase the time limit for each phase, effective during the class trial. I'm going to have up to 13, and this one costs 3. What were the other ones I got? I got one from Hifumi. Handiwork. Allows you to reload 2 bullets at once. Effective during the bullet time battle. Ooh, that's all I have. Sure, let's equip everything. Okay, cool. And I don't need to review the data and stuff. So let's just go ahead and get started. Class trial, all rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results.
Yes,
if
we
you
know
can
this.
figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, then. So, first off, let's talk about the murder weapon!
Okay, let's do it. First, you have to make clear what was used to deliver the fatal blow. It's obviously the dumbbell that was next to Chihiro, but I want to see what everybody else's stupid argument is. Okay.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
True.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
No.
Interesting. That certainly would make for a powerful weapon.
Okay, so what
Poor
Hiro
Chihiro.
said was wrong. Okay, cool, got it.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was.
According to the Monokuma file,
What kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
Nope.
No, that's
I
right.
used to put my concentration on that. I didn't realize.
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell? Found at the scene of the crime?
You know, the one that was covered
It was
in
covered
blood?
in blood. And there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
Or was covered in blood.
and the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell.
Okay, don't exactly
As far as
know
I'm
how you
concerned,
can tell
there's
that.
no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
Kyoko looked at everything.
Yes! That
Kyoto just does not care.
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here.
Okay.
Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
Genocide Jack, right?
For real?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Genocide Jack, the fiendish serial killer? Did he really kill Chihiro? A new element has been added to non-stop debates. Oh, okay. Surprised. For this debate, lines of white noise will appear to disrupt your reactions. Okay. Your truth bullets will disappear if they hit these lines, so think of them as obstacles in your debate. But there is a way to keep this white noise from getting in your way. Press the right mouse button to attach the silencer, which you can use to shoot down the white noise. However, if you shoot an actual remark with your silencer instead of the white noise, the time limit will decrease, so take careful aim when you have your silencer out. Anything else? Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, white noise won't appear at all. I'm not, it's set to kind, so. In which case, you can forget about the silencer and just focus on the situation in front of you. Well then, good luck and have fun. I'm set to kind, not gentle, so let's go. So, right click. Okay. Genocide Jack case file, okay, cool. Okay, let's go.
The culprit is Genocide Jack.
Seriously?
I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible.
That's right.
Why?
These are basically
What
the
makes it
thoughts of
impossible?
everybody
Well,
in
I
the
mean,
group. That's what the
come
white
on.
noise is.
There's just no proof for it.
So there is
No,
proof.
it's wrong. I might know one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
It's me.
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about that for now.
Yeah, I don't think we can answer that question.
More
anyway.
importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
But more important
Wow.
is the other characteristic.
Hifumi.
And it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
Why do I have to tell them? Every other characteristic of Genocide Jack case, which the world at large doesn't know, if I'm not mistaken, has to do with the positioning, how the victim was
I got
positioned.
it!
I don't know why
Apparently,
that confused
in
me.
every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way.
Sure.
Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way.
Right.
So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it? There's only one logical answer I can think
I'm
of.
gonna hold off on that thought I just had.
It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
Or just what? Wait, what?
What?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has, like, bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of
Hemophobia.
serial killer is afraid of blood?
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle. Man, why is this gotta be so complicated?
Because it'd be no fun if it wasn't. The real for sure, but I feel like I understand it. What it means for Genocide Jack to be Toko, but also not be Toko, the answer is that she's not one person, but multiple people, right? Yes, we covered that. Hangman's Gambit. The Hangman's Gambit. Oh. I know what it wants me to spell, and I sighed because dissociative identity disorder is technically not schizophrenia, but whatever. But
Now I understand.
I don't understand. Okay, whatever. Schizo. That's what it wants you to spell.
Is it because Genocide Jack has a split personality?
Huh?
I think I read that somewhere in the file, too.
Yes, it was in the
They
file.
thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
True, she was acting weird. See, with her behavior, she fainted, her behavior changed.
I got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
And she had the totally insane
That's
laugh.
right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
She had no problem with it. I'm fine, I'm fine. Wow, is that a dead body? Hey, are you dead? She must have hit her head real hard when she fainted. The world has a front and a back, a top, an ending, and a bottom. A truth and a web of lies. This is quite concerning. I mean, she sounds completely different.
She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm.
And she didn't faint.
In other words, within her is one personality that can handle blood, and one that obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
Yes. Yes, we've seen all these scenes before. I won't let Genocide Jack have control. I'll drive out the killer, drive out the murderous fiend.
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
Ah,
What?
I guess that makes sense.
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
How?
Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Wow, Byakuya is such a jerk.
Huh?
He is such a jerk.
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time.
I can't tell if he's doing this to try and get her to not have a crush on him anymore, or if he's doing it because he's Byakuya and he loves messing
And
with
that
people.
trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
You promised! I can't believe you lied!
Man, he broke his
You
promise.
have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to.
Well, come on, man.
This
You
is the real
promised not
world,
to tell.
not some romantic fantasy fairy tale. Besides, you broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone.
But there's something about that that's bothering
But in
me.
spite of that promise,
I'm sorry I couldn't keep our promise. Don't worry, never again. I won't let Genocide Jack have control ever again.
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me.
Oh, that's definitely a bald-faced
That's
lie.
the only reason I promised.
how many times do I have to tell you? I never said that, but you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing. could you?
But it's an alternate personality, so she doesn't have the same emotions and thoughts as her person. You know what? Forget it.
I tried. I swear I tried to control it,
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
I hate you.
I hate him right now too.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
You mean from Genocide Jack?
Person, you don't mean...
Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards with a huge thud echoed across the courtroom, but in the next second... she switched? Yep, she switched.
Oh, hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see?
Hi, Genocide Jill.
Yes! What the heck? So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
What the fuck is this?
Toko, what happened to you?
It's already been
Not
explained.
Toko, that's a loser name, and what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
So intense.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
Who says that?
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
This is the murderous fiend, Genocide Jack. This is beyond insane.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you. I am the mastermind of all masterminds! Just kidding!
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid? And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless! I mean, they just let this idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Well, it was a cold case, which means they couldn't solve it.
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people. It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone. Just kidding again!
Okay, because I was getting uncomfortable with that.
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed.
This Toko said
Well,
she had...
let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack.
Probably.
If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Wait, you're not?
Huh?
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Yeah, like I said, the whole thing about Genocide Jack being the culprit bothering me the whole time.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster!
Maybe she's totally right about that, but something's still bothering me. But she said I need to get some more details about all of this. Okay, do we have multiple truth bullets now? Because we only had one, and it's been bothering me. Status of the dead body. I want multiple truth bullets, please.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone!
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Also, hitting the
Perhaps
white
if you
silence
had an alibi,
at the
that
second
would
of
change
time.
things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking!
When you compare your past murders to this incident, The modus operandi matches completely. What more proof do we need? Give it up. You killed her.
I think the modus operandi one is the one I need to shoot. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, but I didn't.
You say that, but
Perhaps if you had a...
Oh, an alibi.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely.
Nope.
No,
Sorry,
it's wrong.
Hiyashia. That's wrong. Why is he trying so hard to pin this on
Are
Toko
the
slash
methods
Genocide
of murder
Jack?
really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
There it is.
How's it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you!
Human garbage.
I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything.
Sure.
But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee.
So somebody's a fraud.
This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Right. One clear difference between the murders and the photos from the other Genocide Jack cases. Look at the neck and stomach. Here you'll see, the victim's fatal injury. Yeah, I mentioned that
For
before.
one, the cause of death is different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Exactly.
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
They would have bled out to death and not just died from a fatal
Wouldn't it
injury
be
to the
strange
head.
for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method?
It could be a cover-up,
And there's more.
but I
One
doubt
more conflicting detail.
That's right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce.
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
Exactly. That's right. The second difference relates to how she was suspended. In the photos of the other Genocide Jack cases, all the other victims were stabbed through their hands. But here you see a clear difference. What was used to suspend her? The rope.
Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them.
Right, scissors.
Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement.
Specially designed.
Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use.
So she wouldn't just go and use something else.
And you know what else? Big
What?
Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Huh?
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Huh?
Huh? Wait, what?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
A pattern?
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Let's see. There's a pattern surrounding the Genocide Jack victims, and Chihiro didn't fit it. Look at the names of every victim and notice what it is. I think I figured it out. I know why she couldn't have killed Chihiro. All the victims in the cases were boys, weren't they?
I got it!
And Chihiro's female.
Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
They were all male. But yeah, Ken, Tetsuhiro, Shogi, Kano, Takashi, those are all male names, yes. And this was what I decided not to read last time, but and I won't read it again.
They were all guys?
That's right! The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men!
Yeah.
I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
Are you though?
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
So, since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
So, then who fabricated
We get
everything
it.
else?
You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it.
Huh?
It's a different matter entirely. When you're forced to kill in order to survive.
I still feel like Genocide Jack would, or Jill wouldn't go against their MO.
Quiet, lowly car!
Lowly? Kurt?
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make
Yeah, I
me the
mentioned that
obvious
before.
suspect!
That does make some amount of sense.
Yeah, why would... Yeah, I was saying that before. Why would Genocide Jill follow their same MO if they're trying not to get caught?
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell
I
because
don't think
you
she'd
couldn't
be able
find
to
any
lift
scissors
the
in the
dumbbell.
school.
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class envy of the entire world scissors!
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
How? What?
She's fully equipped.
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, anytime! Why would
How?
I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side?
Still trying to... How did she get
Go
her
ahead,
scissors?
tell me I'm wrong! You can't, can you, gutter dogs, all of you! Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway!
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
I think,
But
yeah.
the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
See, hold on. There is one person who could have copied the Genocide Jack cases. Yeah, Byakuya, because he's the one who told us about it, and he spilled Toku's secret, and he's just a big fat jerk.
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government
Right,
documents.
because he said
or
he had a whole
internal
stash of
police
that at
records.
home.
Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
I still don't think he's the culprit, but he definitely tampered with the crime scene.
Then the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire!
Adorable glasses, man.
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me.
Yeah.
Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body
yeah.
was a little strange.
He directed us to go into the girls' locker room, didn't he? And the locker rooms. They're suspicious. Very suspicious indeed, wouldn't you agree? Huh? Suspicious? It seems nobody searched the locker rooms. Let's start with the girls' locker room.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say?
Yes.
The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
You
On
guys
the
just don't see
contrary,
it.
there's something very strange.
Okay then. What's so strange about it? Go ahead. Share with the rest of the class.
There's a clear contradiction in what Byakuya just said. I need to make it clear to everyone. A new element has been added. Again? Next, we're going to add something called a truth flashback. To aim at a weak spot and hold down the left mouse button, then you'll memorize that weak spot. Okay. This memorized phase can only be shot once as a single truth bullet. If you shoot or change the truth bullet, it will disappear from your truth cylinder. However, you can use this flashback feature as many times as you want. If you don't seem to have the answer to a lie or contradiction in your loaded truth bullets, it might be wise to memorize a different weak spot and use that to make your case. When's the best time to use flashback? Well, you'll just have to use your keen wits, won't you? In this case, though, I will say that if you don't use a flashback, you won't be refuting anything. Well, good luck and have fun. So we need to do flashback. So I need to pay close attention to all of the yellow things in here, because Monokuma file number 2, that's not going to help us at all.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
That's not it.
But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions.
Whatever comes next is what I need
What's
to
so
copy.
strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
Wait, what? Byakuya's comment about Chihiro being a girl. I realize there's a clear contradiction there. Huh? Because it doesn't make any sense how he could have known before we even found it. Okay, I need to make that contradiction clear. Wait, which one do I need to
So,
copy?
you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely
Oh,
take it!
I see.
that's
I
a
see.
natural...
The victim was so of course I would suggest we check the girl. There was no time for...
What's so
Okay.
strange? I wish you'd
And we need to
taken me
take
with you.
Hina's thing at the very beginning, copy that, and shoot Byakuya's thing. So those are the only two things.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting...
If you're presented with the opportunity,
That's a natural
The victim was Chihiro.
Who was a girl.
There we go. Okay, I got it. Clicked eventually.
I'll tell you what's so strange about that, because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit.
Yeah, so how did you know it was Chihiro before any of
Interesting.
us?
Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Well, then let's strengthen it.
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
What's with Byakuya's attitude? It's like he doesn't even care. I've got him cornered, but he's acting like it has nothing to do with him.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents.
Right.
The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
I don't think that's what she's saying. The difference between this case and the other Genocide Jack murders, the evidence that proves Byakuya is responsible is hidden in there? What could it be? Okay, so I might have to flash back on this one. Which truth bullets do I have? The library desk lamp. Okay.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again?
No.
When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
True.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
It wasn't
That's
rope.
right! It absolutely was!
No, it wasn't rope.
then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope
before in my life.
Yes, you have.
No, that's wrong.
So I didn't have to flash back on that one.
Actually,
okay.
I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
How he timed it like that is amazing, though.
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you?
Yeah, to read
And
his
the
book.
same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
And Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
Byakuya's looking more and more guilty, but I don't know. For some reason, I just don't think he did it, because look at the dumbbell and how heavy it must have been. Byakuya probably can't lift
That's
that.
really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message.
Oh yeah, there's also a problem with that.
I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it.
Yeah, our foundation for this is kind of falling
Is that
apart.
about right?
He's doing it again. I'm totally calm, totally unconcerned. It's as if he's not even involved. Wait, not even involved?
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
I agree.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
No.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime.
Why doesn't he care if he gets
Specifically,
convicted right now?
I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Wait. What was that just now? Something's not right. Chihiro's body was definitely found in the girls' locker room, but does that mean... Can I really just accept what Byakuya said is the truth? No, I don't think so. There's definitely something off about what he said. The scene of the crime.
I got it!
Because
You
the
say you
posters
killed
got
Chihiro
switched.
in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing.
I
What
agree.
kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I mean, we had this problem in the first case,
Well,
too.
I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
Oh, I do.
I believe I do.
Hey, Byakuya, did I just take you off guard? We totally did. When the story suddenly went to the crime scene, Byakuya had been so confident up till now. Maybe Byakuya never even realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else. Oh, we found out a fact he didn't, and he shook.
Don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Evidence to show the murder took someplace else. There was something that was switched between the boys, girls, and locker room. Yeah, like I said, the posters. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, yeah.
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
Yes.
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Yes.
Protein coffee?
Which, by the way, kind of sounds disgusting.
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I
But I
spilled
don't
some
like
protein
coffee,
coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
No, it's not that the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved. Yep. Where is it? There it is.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away.
It was
In
moved.
fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Again, I have no idea how we're showing people this.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think?
It is.
In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
Wow.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why
Yeah,
would
that's
the
a good
culprit
question.
bother doing that?
Huh?
Yeah.
Why would they go to all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime?
Yeah, it doesn't really change anything.
Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place?
That's true. Her e-card reader shouldn't have let her in.
To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe
Yeah,
your
e-handbook, not
e-handbook
e-card.
across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room.
Yeah,
She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
Huh.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
I highly doubt that as well, but let's hear what he has to say anyway.
I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
If you say something supernatural right now. Do you right? Could Hiro really have got into the boys' locker room somehow? Doubtful, but maybe Hiro has something smart to say? Doubt it. A broken handbook.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook!
I don't think so.
She was the ultimate programmer, after all.
True, but I'm pretty
I'm
sure they're
there would have been no
unhackable.
problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it.
What?
She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
No,
Right, but we determined that Leon's handbook is broken. So I don't think that's it.
No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
But Monokuma also tells us that there's no way Leon's handbook should have been broken, so
Oh.
I'm confused now.
Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
See,
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
according to Monokuma, dead people don't count.
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Right.
Yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate
I get the
programmer
feeling that they're
skills
not
and...
hackable.
You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
Security buzzer.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook,
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
I think we need a little bit of help on this one. I don't think we have
Okay
a clue
then,
for this.
I vote for Byakuya.
No, do not vote for Byakuya. Not because, you know, I like him or anything, but, like, it's definitely not him. I feel like it's definitely not him. Right then, Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room, and Byakuya's the one who did it, really? Still, I don't know what else I can do.
Hold on a second. I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
On the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
What? What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Yeah, are we allowed to leave?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
Okay, let's see what Kyoko has to say.
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
So before we even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We headed off with Kyoko in the lead. Where she took us was... the scene of the crime. Okay.
The girls' locker room?
You've already searched this place top to bottom! What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
Oh, that's right. We were told to do that, but we were too squeamish to do it. You want to check it again?
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Examine her carefully? Like using our hands?
Fumi, stand back. You're not allowed to get any closer.
No way!
Oh, he actually doesn't want to. Oh, that's right. He's only into 2D. Right. Forgot.
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just... based on religious grounds, you know?
Okay.
Very well. I'll do it.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
No, I object.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this to me.
Sakura. What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about? That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Putting her hands together in a brief prayer, Sakura then began to quietly examine her body.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is... What is this...
What?
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
What? Sakura's eyes were staring widely at Chihiro's lifeless form. Her massive frame trembled.
This girl is...
Is what?
Is a boy!
What?
Ah, I see. So she was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact.
What? There it is.
You're
Waiting
joking,
for it.
right?
No.
I wouldn't joke about this.
Then it's really true?
So Chihiro's a boy.
Chihiro was a guy?
Wow.
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat.
How did you know?
Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
Chihiro. I guess it could be used as a boy's name.
He was a cross-dresser? Oh, no, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
But then you and Toko would have died.
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does.
So
make
that
things much
explains
more
how
exciting.
Chihiro would have been able to get into the boys' locker room. Because since Monokuma knew that Chihiro was a boy, Monokuma would have just put male in Chihiro's handbook.
Now let's ride this
gender.
wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial.
Yeah, let's continue, please.
Ahem. I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial. We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well...
That is surprising.
I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
To think that Chihiro was actually a guy? I thought it never even crossed my mind.
And because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Very true.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
Now that I think about it, they were saying that they kept inviting Chihiro to join them for exercising and stuff. Sakura and Hina said that they invited Chihiro, and Chihiro refused. I thought it was because, like, you know, didn't want this getting out, but also if Chihiro had tried to go into the girls' locker room, he would have gotten shot with the Gatling gun because there's no way he would have been able to get in, and sneaking in after someone is not allowed.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
I agree with that.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd.
What?
I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
What do you mean incongruity?
This is the most titillating situation!
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Well, not all.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Why, you guys? It's obviously not him.
Very interesting.
Of course, he's not going to
This
say
has become very
otherwise.
interesting indeed.
He's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
I do
Well,
not.
without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it.
Agreed.
But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery.
Yeah.
The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt.
True. He was trying way too hard.
He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it. And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy. If you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
True, he would have known that.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Okay, thanks for saying that.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Are you fucking with us right now?
No.
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now.
Because
Uncovering the culprit
Yakuya's
is much more important, wouldn't
having
you
way
say?
too fun with this.
Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
Agreed.
We're
Let's keep
seriously
going.
gonna keep going? We're
Yeah,
all
we haven't
good,
used
aren't
all our
we?
evidence
I thought it was
yet.
clear Byakuya did it.
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility. Because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
No, he does not.
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Do ants have a hive mind or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Yeah, so let's get
Excellent.
going.
Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
But Byakuya didn't do it. Who's the real killer? Who murdered Chihiro? I'm still trying to figure that out. It has to be somebody who could lift that dumbbell. One thing we can sure that we know about the killer was able to gain access to the real murder scene, which means the killer is definitely one of the guys.
I got it!
Crime scene was in the boys' locker room, so you would need a boys' handbook to get in. Since Leon's handbook is apparently broken, the killer would have had to use their own. In other words, it had to have been a guy. But that's still not enough. I need to find some more clues. Okay, here we go. Do I have multiple truth bullets now? No? So let's count. Oh, right, okay.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
Obviously
I'm
not.
sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even
So
that
that's the
might
count.
be enough for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
That was wrong. Oops. Come on, Makoto, don't scare me like that. Makes me think something weird is going on.
Shoot!
I need to think about it one more time. There must be a contradiction in there somewhere. Okay, that's...
Isn't there a single clue? Well,
Did nobody get a look at the...
I'm sure if someone saw the...
Perhaps someone saw the victim. Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of...
It's over. It's all over. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer. And only the killer. And it's not like they're just gonna turn themselves in. Game over, man. Game over.
Drama much?
No! Not game over!
Okay, yeah. Okay, I see which one I need to shoot.
Isn't there a single clue?
Just fast forward.
Did nobody get...
I'm sure if someone saw the...
Perhaps someone saw the victim. Yeah.
It's over.
You want to know who saw the victim? The killer. And only the killer.
Nope, it's not true.
No, that's wrong!
Okay. I don't know why I shot the new info one.
I
That
believe
was
someone else
silly.
did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes, I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse.
Right.
I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. And then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
Which he did.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder
Yeah,
scene.
we never ever did find out what happened to the track jacket and duffel bag, did we?
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
Or if no blood happened to get on it, they probably just put it back in the warehouse.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
Well, I better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
Yeah.
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Yeah.
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much.
Man, that's heart-wrenching.
Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
Ooh, what a marvelous friendship! The point is, whoever
we just
he
have
met up
genocide
with is
Jill
the
around
culprit,
forever?
right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
Yes, we do.
You know who the killer is.
Seriously?
Who is it? Who's the killer?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on 2 pieces of evidence that we don't have?
I see where Kyoko's going with this, because only Celeste, the killer, and Chihiro know what the duffel bag and track jacket look like.
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say. But fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Yeah, like I said, the killer could have just put it back and nobody would know. They're all the same.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
Okay, let's do it. Does Chihiro's track jacket really hold some clue about the killer? However, somehow it's hard to believe. Let's see. Do I have to flashback? Yeah, I have to flashback, so Celeste's account is no longer relevant.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
No.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
Hey!
No, that's wrong.
Whoa, okay. Yeah, that was the one that I need to shoot.
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
I let the game explain why that was
What'd I say?
wrong.
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said...
I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. Then I assumed he headed off to exercise.
She never said anything about the jacket's color.
Yeah, he said blue tracksuit.
So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you... You just...
Hey, Celeste. What color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
As a matter of fact, it was blue.
Yeah.
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit
Mondo?
was?
I mean, it doesn't make sense. Mondo would be able to lift a dumbbell that look like that.
I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
That's right, I forgot about Taka and Mondo's bromance.
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died!
Cherry.
That's the only possibility! Cherry? Are you talking about Chihiro? So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night.
Just happened to
He
see
walked
it?
past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
Really, Mondo?
No, that can't be it either.
He stuffed the jacket into her bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. And just like that, she was gone.
When Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
Unless you have X-ray vision, which you don't.
It would appear you've dug your own grave.
Yeah.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
But it's nonsense that worked.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it?
Which Celeste probably appreciates being the ultimate gambler.
Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it. to put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
Why?
But why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
Well, because I hated him the way... Huh. I guess the way he talked.
There was a certain turning point that tipped me off. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women differently. You only call guys dude. For girls, it's
Oh
chick.
yeah, when we talked to Mondo after Chihiro was murdered, that was the first person I talked to. He said dude had some problems.
And after he was killed, you happened to refer to him as dude. Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
You notice such a tiny detail?
Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful!
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Mondo, was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth.
No, we weren't. You actually said this.
What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Because you are.
Yeah! He would never do something like that! This is a false accusation!
Of course, Taka's
It's
gonna
true.
step in and
My
defend him.
reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Have we used up all of our evidence yet? Because I feel like we haven't. Again.
My time has nearly
Oh yeah, that's right. Hifumi said he had discovered something of note. I bet you he was about to say
That's
something
what my little
ultra...
ghost friend is telling me.
Ultra, stupid. Also, there's a little ghost friend thing
Oh
again. Who are
yeah,
you talking
that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you'd found some evidence?
about? Yes, he did.
Really? What kind of evidence?
Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then... Here it is.
Hey, handbook.
What do you have there?
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
And we are missing a dead person's handbook. We found it on the ground, right? Then it must belong to Chihiro.
I got it! We know Chihiro's
Oh, hey, my
handbook
influence
was missing
gauge is
from the
refilling.
scene of the crime,
Nice.
right?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the
There
murder.
are two broken handbooks?
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall. For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere?
I think so.
How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
How did the handbooks break? There's only one possibility. By exploiting a bug, by hacking it, by hitting its weak point. Monokuma did say that it does have a weak point. And my
You already
influence
told us
gauge
before
is
that the
refilled.
handbook
Nice.
has one weak point, didn't you?
You remember that?
Yes.
Sure, maybe I let that slip, but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
Pretty sure you
But
did
if
tell
the
us.
handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick
No,
succession,
he didn't actually.
then
Then we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
Yep, she has a point.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already. Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well,
True,
I
they
have
are
a
needed.
weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example?
You just make a rule and say that you can't break
Then
the
allow
handbook.
me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is... when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break!
Oh. Wow, Mondo.
I flippin' knew it!
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna.
The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees.
Really?
Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin.
Huh, interesting fact.
If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried.
Ah.
That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Wow, interesting. I learned one new fact today.
Me too.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
Yep, and Mondo definitely
But
does.
how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
Not really, because I was witness to it.
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
Yes. Yes. I'm recording right now. I'll get it later. Okay.
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why.
Yep.
And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that?
Mondo did.
I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
I might know someone who did.
Whoa! Seriously?
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
Taka's about to lose it. Who might have brought their handbook into the sauna? It had to be the one who wore all their clothes in the sauna. It was. Mondo.
Here's my answer.
He kept all his clothes on during that little
Mondo,
endurance test.
your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
Yeah.
What?
Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Because he's guilty.
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember?
Mondo kept
And
on
for the
all
contest,
his clothes.
Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook
Wow.
into the sauna could easily destroy it.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would never kill. I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid proof.
We have. I mean, I don't want to believe it either, but I found something that proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt. We did? What are you talking about? Broken E. Okay, here we go. Finally, we have multiple truth books. Broken E handbook, Chihiro's handbook, card reader.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
Nope.
No, that's wrong. Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours?
I don't think
The
it is.
fuck is that supposed to mean?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall, isn't that one actually yours?
What the heck are you talking about?
Like Monokuma said, there's no reason why Leon should have been broken.
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
I like this trial a lot.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's, which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's, yes?
But
Yes.
doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook is prohibited?
We already covered this.
Well, here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not a student.
I guess that would make them a former student.
It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just makes things more interesting. As such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch! What's wrong, bro? Come on! Tell him he's wrong!
Sorry, Taka.
You are wrong! You have to be wrong! Everything you just said is wrong! You made it all up!
We're gonna have to bullet time battle with you.
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning? That way, everything will become clear, and we'll all see if I was right or wrong.
Okay, so here we go. Closing argument. Okay, let's try not to mess it up this time. Okay. Okay, I think I have the things laid out correctly. There were two that I didn't use, but I'm pretty sure that they weren't supposed to be used. I hope. So let's go
Here's
ahead
exactly
and
what
reenact.
happened. First, let's take a look back to before the incident. Last night, Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse, correct?
Right.
At the time, she was apparently stuffing something into a duffel bag.
Okay, good.
That something was a blue tracksuit. You can confirm this, right, Celeste? With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime.
I think I have these two backwards.
She made her way to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room. But how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room?
Yeah, okay.
Here's exactly
I
what
think we're
happened.
good now.
With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime.
Please don't let me lose all my influence gauge here.
She
I was
made her
very
way
upset.
to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room. But how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room?
Okay, good. Okay.
Simple,
Good.
because she was really a he, which is why he was able to use his own e-handbook to gain entrance to the boys' locker room. Once inside, he met with someone there. And the person he met was the one who killed him.
Yep, it's true.
It seems likely that the killer grabbed the nearby dumbbell, approached the unsuspecting Chihiro, and attacked him.
Okay, nice.
And that's where the bloodstains on the poster and carpeting in the boys' locker room came from. It was likely in the heat of the moment. The body was arranged, but the murder itself felt unplanned.
Takes down the poster.
Which is why the killer hurried to try and hide the act. First, pulling up the bloodstained carpet, then removing the bloody poster.
Okay, good. We're good. Okay, I'm pretty sure
and
everything
finally
else after
carrying
this
the
is
corpse into the girls' locker room. A girl's handbook was necessary to get into the locker room, of course. But this alone doesn't prove that the killer was necessarily a girl. After all, Sayaka and Junko's handbooks had been placed in the main
good point.
hall.
Okay.
Using one of those, a boy could get into the girls' locker room without much problem.
Right.
And that's exactly how the killer did it. With the carpet and the poster they brought with them, they got to work. They changed the layout of the boys' and girls' locker room in what you might call a crime scene switch.
True. Then
That
Byakuya
could
decided
have
to
been the
come
end
and
of things,
mess things up.
But no. Byakuya discovered the body and decided to intervene in the situation, making things even more complicated.
Yeah. Because he wanted to mess with Toko, I
So,
guess.
after stumbling on the crime scene, he went and grabbed the extension cord from the library, and then he got to work.
Yep.
He used the cord to string up Chihiro's lifeless body. Then, using the victim's own blood, he left a grisly message there at the scene of the crime.
That's so
He wanted to
disgusting.
create the illusion that Genocide Jack was responsible for the slaughter. And around the same time that Byakuya was putting together this facade, the killer, having already disposed of Chihiro's bag and other belongings, arrived at the sauna. There, they planned to destroy the last piece of evidence, Chihiro's handbook.
Yeah.
And just as the killer expected, the steamy sauna was enough to ruin the electronic gadget. Somehow, the killer knew that the handbook couldn't stand up to the
But
heat
why
of the
didn't
sauna.
he take the e-handbook after it fried, instead of just leaving it there?
And the reason they knew that is because the sauna had already wrecked their own handbook.
If he hadn't left Chihiro's handbook in the sauna, he probably would have been home free.
And that's how it all played
Well,
out.
no, not completely, but we wouldn't have had that fact.
Isn't that right, Mondo Orada?
Mondo's hard work here was making me laugh. Oh, God.
Wait! No! This can't be right!
It is
Where's your evidence? Yeah! Where's your evidence?
Taka, I know this is hard for you, but you're gonna have to let him go.
You need evidence! You need proof! Without any proof, you can't pin any of this on him!
Evidence that Mondo's the killer. That already revealed itself earlier in the trial. If I can somehow show where Mondo's handbook is right now, once I do that, everything will become clear. New element has been added to the bullet time battles. Would you like to hear more? Sure. Let's talk a little bit about fever time and nega time. During a bullet time battle, if you press the space key, fever time will activate and the tempo will be forced to its maximum. At this point, even if you press the buttons at random, you won't miss. So you can press all the buttons you want to destroy the opponent's verbal assault. But this only lasts until your focus gauge runs out, so make the best possible use of your time. Of course, it wouldn't be fair if only you got to access the special time, right? You also prepare something called nega time that your opponent can use. If the opponent activates nega time during the bullet time battle, your tempo marker will disappear, making it quite tougher to hit the buttons in rhythm. If you were to activate fever time at this point, no, never mind, I'm sure nothing would happen. I don't know what I was worried about. Unsurprisingly, if your action difficulty is set to gentle, the opponent won't use nega time. Well then, good luck and have fun. Whoever plays this on gentle is just missing out on the experience of the game. So, how does this work again?
Show me some evidence!
Okay, I got it.
You're wrong! I won't listen! I refute you! False!
Okay. So I need to watch
Show
out
me
for
some
when he
evidence.
uses nega time on me.
I won't listen! False! I refuse to vote! Show me some evidence! You're wrong! I won't listen! I refute you! False! Show me some evidence. I won't listen. False. You're corrupt. I refuse to vote.
Final strike.
Show me some evidence.
This
There
should
we
prove
go.
it.
Ooh. That was a little bit risky there, but got it. Nice.
If my thinking so far is right, Mondo must have replaced his broken handbook with Leon's. In which case, we can just check each of our handbooks right now. Once we do that, we'll...
We don't gotta do that.
Oh, you're just gonna give up? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I did it. I killed him.
Oh, wow. Okay. Quest trial complete. Nice. Hey, nice. And how many mono coins did I get? 97, even more than last time. Awesome.
Bro, what are you saying?
I got no choice, man. After hearing all that, I gotta just... give up.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Monokuma. Get it over with. Ask for the goddamn verdict.
Roger that.
Wait! Hold on!
Hold on for what?
No waiting, no holding on. Time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Grab your lever and give it a yank! Who will you elect as the Blackened this time around?
Oh, man.
Will
so
you
bad
make
for
the right
Taka.
choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Who is found guilty? Monokuma, vote. And it's Mondo.
What?
Uh-oh! This time it looks like you got it right again. Yes, it is so. The Blackened that killed Chihiro Fujisaki was... Mondo Owada!
Unbelievable.
In case you're wondering, the vote was not unanimous. Kiyotaka chose a wrong answer. You're treading very close to the danger zone, Mr. Ishimaru. You need to be more careful. I refuse to believe it. There's no way he would kill someone.
Sorry.
What is this?
Why are you apologizing? Why? Oh, Taka's so broken up. Why did you do it?
Now then.
Well, it looks like Mondo's taking a vow of silence, so allow me to explain on his behalf.
Actually...
The story of the murder this time is the sad story of two men. But for anyone who doesn't really want to hear, you can just hit the control key to fast forward the text. Has it told me that I could do that before? Because I don't think it has. Anyway, there once was a young boy, and his name was Chihiro Fujisaki. He had an extreme inferiority complex regarding his own lack of strength. You're so weak, even though you're a boy. He'd heard things like that as long as he could remember, and he couldn't overcome his weakness. On the contrary, he tried to hide and bury himself further and further into that weakness, to take on the fragile form of a petite young girl. He had chosen that as his way out. Now, nobody will be able to say anything about even though you're a boy. But no matter how tightly he wrapped himself up in that shell, the inferiority complex had already taken root deep inside of him and was not so easily weeded out. As it turned out, the shell was completely empty. The complex didn't disappear. Instead, it only grew stronger and stronger. I'm weak.
Weak, 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 weak.
Once the killing game had begun here at the school, he had no choice but to accept this fact. After all, this world is survival of the fittest. If you're not strong, you don't survive. And then the lovely and hateful Monokuma announced the reveal of the embarrassing secret. Which, of course, included Chihiro's embarrassing secret, which I was more than willing to divulge. even though he dresses like a girl, Chihiro is actually a boy.
Hey,
And that was something Chihiro couldn't let anyone find out, no matter the cost. If that was revealed, it would be the end. The hardened shell would crack. The armor would fall away. Without a doubt, those around him would torture him more than ever before. If everyone figured being thrust into such a dilemma must have sent him spiraling into despair.
What?
And yet...
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I don't really want to talk about it right now.
But
But I also don't want to leave things the way they are, so maybe I can talk about it later. After I try my best to become strong, then I can tell everyone. Annoyingly, he used the threat of discovery to motivate himself to become stronger.
That's right.
Now's my chance.
I want to change.
I'm going to get stronger and accept who I am. Strong enough so that when someone says, even though you're a boy, I'll be okay. I'll get better. Oh, Chihiro. With that thought at the front of his mind, he resolved to take immediate action. And so... that day, he made the commitment to begin exercising. He was prepared to retrain his mind and body. But sadly, that would be the first and only chance he would get at it.
Hey,
When he decided to start exercising, he thought it'd be good to ask someone for help. But he wanted to tell that person his secret first, and then ask them to help him from there. And the person he went to...
Yeah, that's right.
It was me. Yup, it sure was. The biker gang fella had been painfully clear about how important his manly promises were. So Chihiro probably figured that even if he confided in Mondo, his honor would make him keep the secret. Plus, Mr. Macho Mondo was the very symbol of a strong man that Chihiro had always aspired to. Maybe talking to Mondo about it will help give me some courage. This should be Monokuma speaking here, not Chihiro. So he went and asked Mondo to help him become strong. That was his aspiration. And he thought that only with Mondo's support would he ever be able to come close to that.
Correct.
So then, that must be why Mondo did what he did, to keep the promise he made to Chihiro. Huh? Did what he did? You mean that's why Mondo carried Chihiro from the boys' locker room into the girls' locker room?
Indeed.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Wasn't that to cover up what he'd done?
Certainly.
That could have been part of it, but I don't think it was the main reason. The real purpose was to keep the promise between men he'd made to Chihiro. But how does moving the body keep his secret?
Because...
Well, because if everyone knew he'd been killed in the boys' locker room, then everyone would have been arguing about how she got into the boys' locker room, right? Once that started up, at least a few of us would have immediately begun to suspect his identity, so he tried to protect Chihiro's secret by putting him in the girls' locker room and stealing his handbook, see? Then Mondo did all that to keep the promise he'd made to Chihiro, who he'd also killed? Why would he do that? The more I hear you talk, the more I don't understand. I mean, you guys trusted each other, right? So why? Why did you... Mondo, you gonna say anything? Because no matter what, I didn't want anyone to know.
I knew it.
So, that's what triggered it after all. The possibility of having your embarrassing memories and secrets exposed.
What is this?
That's impossible. Nothing could have been that bad. Something he didn't want anyone to know, even if it meant killing someone?
You're wrong!
It's impossible.
Don't make me repeat myself.
How many times must I repeat myself? To judge others by your own standard is the height of folly. Even if you can't comprehend it, he obviously can. That's all there is to it. Well, while we're on the subject, why don't I tell you? That embarrassing memory, that secret he didn't want anyone to know.
Hey,
You know what Mondo did? He killed his own brother. Oh. Mondo, the ultimate biker gang leader, makes all the hoodlums and riffraff across the country tremble. But the only reason he had the chance to join the gang in the first place was because of a certain someone. Mondo's older brother's name was Dia Awada. Mondo had nothing but respect for him. It was because of Dia that Mondo ever got on a motorcycle. Mondo's brother was his only family growing up. He was the only one Mondo could trust or respect. He wanted to measure up to his big brother, so he imitated him in everything he did. Mondo was the epitome of the starry-eyed kid brother. Meanwhile, the charismatic older brother had put together a local motorcycle gang. And before anyone knew it, it had grown into the biggest biker gang in the country. Dia, the older brother, number 1 in the gang, and his number 2, his younger brother, Mondo. In the beginning, everything was peaches and gravy. But when Mondo started to think about how he would have to take over the gang from his brother someday, his brother's greatness, his reputation, began to gnaw on Mondo's very soul. The kid's gonna take over for Dia, huh? Dia created this gang with his bare hand. Mondo's just along for the ride. Can someone like that really be our leader? All they'll do is make the gang look bad. Almost every day, Mondo heard the gossip and whispers of all the other members of the gang. Which is why...
I
gotta get stronger. Stronger than Dia. Once. Just one time. No matter what, I gotta win.
Don't fuck with me.
I don't care what it takes. I gotta come out on top. And on the night of his amazing brother's retirement ceremony, Mondo challenged him to a street race. But during the race, tragedy struck. The kid brother pushed ahead with reckless abandon, eager for victory, and dashed into oncoming traffic. Oh boy. But suddenly... How could Monokuma know all of this, unless he was there to witness it, somehow? Laying in his kid brother's arms, the older brother delivered his final words. My bad, kid. I screwed up. Sorry. Of course, he knew it was his brother's fault, but Dia never blamed him for what happened. Hey, kid, the rest is up to you. No matter what, you gotta keep the gang together. 'Cause it's a team, you and me put together. Oh, it's a promise between men. He decided to hide the truth of what happened from everyone else in the gang. In order to keep the gang together and keep the promise to his brother, he could never admit to anyone that it was his own weakness that had caused the accident. As a result, the team was made even stronger under the banner of the kid who'd bested his big brother. Dia was gonna lose to his kid brother, so he got stupid and got himself killed. That became the explanation for what happened. Mondo's lie became the truth. He wanted to lead the team so bad he was willing to go and tell all kinds of lies about his brother. I'm strong. Yeah, I'm not gonna read all that. And yet, as soon as our killing game began, he realized no matter how tough he pretended to be, he was just another weakling that could die in an instant. And then, the hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets. At that point, it was clear I would have no problem shedding light on his secret. Mondo killed his own older brother. No matter what, I couldn't let the other gang members find out. If that happened, everything would have been ruined. Everything me and my brother had worked to create would have been destroyed. His death, all the guilt I've been carrying around, it all would have been for nothing. So that's why That's why Mondo. And after I saw what Monokuma had on me, my head filled up with all kinds of fuzzy uneasiness and just started swirling around. I never felt anything like it before. That's what despair feels like. I didn't know what to do about it. I wasn't sure what to think or say, but after a while, that fuzzy uneasiness turned itself into a rock-hard lump of anxiety way down in my stomach. And it was right around then that Chihiro asked me to start working out with him. And right there, he told me a secret. Seriously? Jesus.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry I lied to you. But why? Why now? Why are you telling me this all of a sudden?
Huh?
Because, I mean, you kept that secret all this time, right? If anyone found out, you would.
But...
You're right, but...
I want to change.
I wrap myself in lies. I'm weak. I want to destroy that version of me forever. His words were like a knife in my gut. I felt like he was exposing the lie I'd been living myself. I have to change. I don't want to be weak anymore. You're so strong, it can't hurt you, right? Whatever secret Monokuma might tell us.
You piece of...
So, what? You're saying I should just say it?
What?
You're saying if I really am, I should just be able to tell everyone my secret? Huh? I was jealous. I was jealous of Chihiro's strength. He had the strength to face his own weakness to try and overcome it. It was a kind of strength I've never had. I was jealous of him. And that jealousy broke me.
What?
Are you making fun of me? I'm strong. Are you messing with me right now?
No!
I'm not making fun of you. You really are strong, Mondo. I felt like I could hear something starting to creak. Something inside my head. What do you want me to do? What was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to just sit back and let my secret get revealed and ruin everything?
What's wrong?
Damn
Why
you!
do you have to tell me all that? Are you trying to rub my failure in my face?
I
just really admire you. I admire your strength.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. I am strong. I'm strong. Stronger than you.
You son of a bitch!
And stronger than Daya. I don't remember anything after that. When I woke up again, he was laying at my feet, covered in blood. I had the dumbbell in my hand, and I was just staring at him down on the ground. Hey.
I
killed him.
I killed Chihiro. Even after all this time, I'm still just as weak as I've always been.
Oh, Mondo.
And thanks to that, I did something I can never take back.
This is sad. This is even sadder than Sayaka's trial, I feel. Mondo. He was normally so aggressive, so angry. He hid that weak side from everyone. That was his secret. A weakness like that lived in a heart like his, and it turned him cold-blooded. Oh. Of course, Monokuma was just laughing it up. Look at him! You see, you're all just like him. From a secret from the past for a memory. For that, he killed another living human in cold blood. He couldn't cut free of his regrets from the outside world. He doesn't know what true strength is. Do you see hope anywhere in there? 'Cause I sure don't. Just shut up. Go ahead and say that again. I dare you. Have you seen Taka use this type of language before? Just asking.
Yep.
I don't think so. Okay, I'll say it as many times as I want. Is what I want to say, but... Unfortunately, I can't do that right now because the time for punishing is fast approaching. And we will get to Mondo's execution in the next video. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Also be sure to like my Facebook page and follow me on Twitter, as well as support my Patreon. All 3 links will be in the description below, and subscribe for more. And if you are subscribed or a new subscriber right now, be sure to hit that bell icon so you get notified of when I upload videos. This is Viola Rules, signing off. Talk to you later.